Right.
It says it's connected.
It's I think we're on.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
Hi there, everybody. Josh Rugger and Leslie Castro here. We are about to go live on air. We do have a tornado warning that is now in effect for portions of Newton County. This storm is moving off to the north and east right now near the Salis area. It's also moving towards Swain and Limestone. We're about to go on air right now and do live storm chasing coverage, coverage. So just stand by real quick. We're about to get on air here. As soon as Leslie comes back, we're going to switch to TV coverage. But again, if you live just off to the north and west of Salis near the Fallsville area, that's where the tornado warning is currently in effect. And the most concerning part of the storm is currently located. That's going to be along State Highway 21. So are they ready to rock and roll in there? Because we got to go on air right now.
We're ready.
All right. So stand by, folks. We're going to go live on air right now. Get that set out. You guys ready? We're starting? All right. All right, Leslie.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right. Hi everyone, meteorologist Josh Rugger here with meteorologist Leslie Castro. We do have a tornado warning that has been issued for portions of Newton County. Again, Leslie, you've been watching this storm very closely. It has been showing some signs of rotation over the last few minutes.
Yes.
And it does look like it's lifting off to the north and east.
Yes, Little Rock, they were keeping an eye on this as well over the last few scans, and now it has begun to pick up. And with that being said, we're seeing mid-level rotation with this, but now with it possibly reaching to the lower levels, that's where the concerns really do begin to arise. And so now we have this tornado warning to let everyone know about. So first and foremost, a lot of people are asking about the location of this, since we are very up close to this right now. This is in Johnson County, in fact, and as you can see, just west of Salis and just south of Fallsville as well.
And that's going to be in southern Newton County there as well. So that storm is just now transitioning into southern Newton County. So I wouldn't expect a whole lot of impacts to Johnson County with this latest tornado warning. But again, as Leslie was just mentioning, the most concerning part of the storm is now just off to the south of the Fallsville area. Leslie, right now behind the scenes, she's going to be getting a storm track going in just a few moments now. Leslie, I wasn't able to see all the information on this tornado warning because it was just now issued. But when exactly does this expire?
It expires at 3:30 p.m.
Okay, so this will expire at 3:30 p.m. Now, here's the good news, folks. Right now, it looks like this rotation has dropped off just a little bit. It was a little bit tighter just a few scans ago. But if you live right along State Highway 21, it's going to be right here. It's a very rural part of Newton County, but we have seen several tornadoes move through this very area over the last several years. If you live here just off to the east of Fallsville near State Highway 21, you do need to be in your tornado safe place right now. Leslie, let's take just a wider view here so we can see a close look at that polygon. Again, Johnson County, you're pretty much in the clear at this point. This storm has now officially moved into Newton County. It is lifting off to the north and east this time. Going to be moving towards the Swain area. So if you live in Swain, got to make sure you're taking those tornado precautions right now. But the most concerning part of the storm is going to be just off to the south and east, now due east of the Fallsville area. So Leslie, I think you've got a storm track going on. I'm going to step off the screen here and let's get right to it.
Yes, I do. I have one pulled up. And again, this storm is moving at about 20 miles per hour. So a little bit of a slower one, especially, but 3:06 p.m. Walnut, you definitely want to be in your safe place as well. 3:08 p.m. for Cassville Church. Again, these are some of the areas that were also within polygons yesterday. So some of the same areas are being impacted as well. Edwards Junction by 3:13 p.m. and then 3:19 Nail, 3:31 p.m. Alum Cove Natural Bridge Recreation Area, and then 3:34 Wayton as well. And then beyond that, you have Crossroads School by 3:38, 3:42 Pathernon, and then 3:48 p.m. Union Hill School as well. Once again, this is going all the way up until 3:30, and it's kind of going into the hills here. And one thing with that for sure, it will be a little bit harder to spot, especially if you're down on the ground when it comes to this certain area.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Leslie, for that. Great track right there. So let's go back here to Weather 1. And let's take a look at the correlation coefficient. So if you guys switch back to Weather 1 here. So this is what we call correlation coefficient. This just gives us a general idea on if debris is being lofted, right? So if you start seeing different colors here, especially that kind of yellow shaded color, that's where we're going to be watching for any possible what we call correlation coefficient drops. And if that happens, then we can confirm that there's a tornado on the ground. But right now, I don't see anything too concerning right now with that cell. I'm going to go back here to Mega Doppler so we can take a look again at that split screen. Leslie, let's pull this up on just SRV, just storm relative velocity. And she just pulled it up right there. Let's zoom in again just a little bit closer on this area of rotation. And let's plot a few roads right here. Let's see what we've got going on with the storm. So looks like the most concerning part of the storm now is moving towards the Walnut area. So if you live near Walnut, got to make sure you're in your tornado safe place right now. County Road 26 is going to be just off to the north and east of State Highway 21. Looks like another county road, 7,540. Edwards Junction area as well. This is moving north and east towards Swain. So again, very rural part of Newton County. I've been out here several times. State Highway 16. There's not a whole lot in this area, but I know we still got some folks that watch here. So if you live in southern Newton County right now, just off to the south of Edwards Junction, you need to be in your tornado safe place right now. And Leslie's still plotting some of those roads. Again, there's not very many.
Yes,
really
it's
State
very
Highway 16.
isolated once again, but you also have a couple of mountainous roads here, Union Grove as well, for example, and also a little bit closer, again, like you've mentioned, just keeping an eye on State Highway 16. Pretty much this entire area right there along the main road will be your State Highway 16 there. And we also have a couple of county roads in this area or general vicinity as well that we definitely need to continue to keep an eye on. And I have some of those listed right there, County Road 64, and then also County Road 8 as well, if you live in the 700 to 798 block right there around the Swain area. So pretty much if you're in the Swain area, you definitely want to be in your safe place, and even going beyond this towards the northeast as well, because that's exactly where this rotation is headed.
Yeah, and if you don't mind, Leslie, and thank you so much for doing that as well. We want to make sure we're ahead of this thing, right? So if you live in these areas, if you heard your town or your road called out, you need to be in your tornado safe place. I want you to go back here and do a split screen on base reflectivity and storm relative velocity.
Well, that's correlation coefficient right now. Like you mentioned earlier, there's nothing necessarily going on of concern at the current moment. But again, here is a couple of those roads plotted there just along Swain. And
this is the storm right here. Again, Davion was talking about this yesterday. It's one thing that I like to use as well in order to see if a storm is strengthening. We always look for that uptick in lightning, which is going on around that area of rotation. It does look pretty broad. Remember, we are pretty far away from the radar. Leslie, I would say we're about 6,000, 7,000 feet at this point here. So you got to take that with a grain of salt. This is what we call a radar hole. So we're not getting the best scan of the storm. But right now, in my opinion, I don't see anything here that's too concerning. At least that means a tornado is imminent.
Yes.
But we still got a broad area of rotation right now. So we still need to be in that tornado safe place if we live in and around Swain. This is great right here. Normalized rotation. This is fantastic, Leslie. So this is the current scan right here. You can see that very weak rotation that's going on there. Earlier it was a lot stronger. Look at that. See those kind of darker green colors there? Now you're starting to talk about stronger rotation. But as it is lifted off to the north and east, it has died off just a little bit, which is great news there. We hope that trend continues. Again, this tornado warning goes until 3:30 p.m. for southern Newton County. So Leslie zooming in right there. It's going to be moving towards State Highway 16 here in Edwards Junction. You need to be in your tornado safe place right now.
We can go ahead and pull up the storm track back on Weather2 as well, so that people can get a fresh reminder of where exactly this is at. So far across the area, this is the only tornado warned storm at the current moment. I know a lot of people are asking about other areas at the current moment, but we're keeping an eye on this exact storm. And like I've mentioned, Walnut, you definitely want to be in your safe place by 3:04 p.m., 3:06 p.m. Cassville Church, once again, Edwards Junction area entirely by 3:10 p.m. Also Swain, 3:13 p.m. Keeping in mind the storm is a little bit slower moving. It's only moving at 20 miles per hour. So you're seeing that considering that and moving towards the northeast as well. And then nailed by 3:17 p.m. Once again, very isolated for the most part, but we know there are folks out there that do live in this area, and you definitely want to be in your safe place right now.
And they may have just put an update on that tornado warning too. Normally you see like that box that's kind of flashing there. That means they might have put an update on that. So Leslie, I'll let you cover the update there. I want to go back to Weather One just real quick here. So people can get a wider view at what's going on when it comes to that current watch and warning situation. So if we go back to Weather One, we'll be able to see that. So they'll pull that up behind the scenes. Thank you guys so much. So this is what I want to talk about here. We do have a tornado watch that is in effect for portions of our coverage area that goes until 7 p.m. That does include Berrien, McDonald County in Southwest Missouri, Benton, Carroll, Boone, and Newton counties. Again, this goes until 7 p.m. There's a tornado warning that we were just talking about in Newton County. That goes until 3:30 p.m. Still radar indicated.
Yes.
So that's good news right there. Not a confirmed tornado, but again, you still need to be in your safe place if you live in those locations. And there it is right there, that area of rotation. Still pretty broad at this time, Leslie. Still not seeing any indications that there's a tornado on the ground, but I'd still be in my safe place right now because we saw yesterday how quickly these storms can ramp up and drop tornadoes. So we're not going to let our guard down on this whatsoever.
And when it comes to the update on the tornado warning thus far, they just adjusted the track so that it finally Johnson County
Yes.
right now. It's only including Newton County for those who were concerned about that. Once again, like you mentioned, this is all the way up until 3:30. But like we're keeping in mind, thus far rotation is weak. It was a little bit stronger earlier, but definitely has weakened now that we are looking at the current and most recent scans when it comes to that. But of course, like we've mentioned, State Highway 16, you definitely want to be in your safe spot by now, and also just along another road I mentioned earlier were a lot of these county roads as well. So for example, you're keeping in mind maybe Daniel Ridge's road as well. I'm trying to plot it here, so give me one quick second as I go ahead and do that. There you go. Daniel Ridge's road just ahead of this rotation, and also County Road 64. Of course, Edwards Junction is also right there. Swain and Nail, you definitely want to be in your safe place. And then if we go a little bit farther out, also wanting to keep in mind possibly Murray and also Wayton just along and within this polygon as well.
Yeah, and you're probably experiencing some rain and waiting right now. None of that is causing significant impacts. It's just another shower that's out ahead of the most concerning storm, which is this one right here. Does have kind of a weird look to it, Leslie. A lot of times when these supercells are very compact, very tight, they do struggle to rotate. I've found that from experience in storm chasing, and you've probably seen the same thing as well. It just doesn't have the best look right now for tornado potential, which is absolutely fantastic. But I want you to go back even more. Go back just a few more scans here. That right there was a little bit more concerning. When it had that kind of hook shape right there in northern Johnson County, that's when the storm prompted that tornado potential. And then as you go along in time, you'll see that area of rotation as it lifts off to the north and east, now becoming very broad, becoming a little more disorganized, and hopefully that trend continues as it lifts towards the Swain area. But again, can't stress this enough, folks. This is an environment where we can see those brief spin-ups very quickly. We could see a tornado drop at any time. So we're going to make sure we're taking those tornado precautions very seriously there in and around the Swain area. Leslie, I know you might have this behind the scenes here, but I think it'd be great to show, and I can pull that up right now, Maya, in the duct graphic here. We always talk about this downstairs, under something, center of the house, keep away from windows. One thing that I always like to emphasize is the under something, right? You got to get underneath the mattress, put a bicycle helmet on you, right? Just want to make sure you're protecting your head, which is the most sensitive part of your body when it comes to flying debris. So just make sure you're taking these tornado precautions if you're in that tornado warning in Newton County. If you do this, this is going to save your life right here if a tornado ends up dropping. But we always talk about that when it comes to these severe thunderstorms, and I think it's a great acronym for this particular event. But again, this storm lifting off to the north and east at about 20 miles per hour, and this tornado warning will go until 3:30.
And I do want to mention that in Little Rock National Weather Service Slack, they did mention the tornado warning has been dropped for Johnson County, like we saw. They also mentioned that the storm is quickly falling apart and will likely be canceled early. So they're giving it about another scan or two before they decide to do that. But like they've also mentioned, low top convection is always a treat when it comes to a situation like this.
Absolutely. And that's great news right there, Leslie. We're seeing the same thing right now here on our end, and hopefully that trend continues. Now, here's the deal. We just talked about this, right? And I'm going to pull this up here for you guys once again, the watches and warnings, because we still got a tornado watch that's in effect until 7 p.m. That does include Benton County. That includes Carroll and Boone County as well. And then if we go to Southwest Missouri, that also includes Berry and McDonald County. So we still got some more storms that we have to watch very closely. Now, here's the good news, folks. I'm going to pull up satellite radar for you right now. We don't have any threatening thunderstorms that are moving into northwest Arkansas at this time. I'm going to pause this here at the end of this loop. There's that tornado watch we were just talking about. The only storm of concern right now is in Newton County, and it looks like it's starting to weaken. The showers that you're experiencing in northwest Arkansas at this time along the I-49 corridor are well below severe limits. There might be some occasional flashes of lightning, but I think at least over the next 30 to 45 minutes, things should be a-okay. Now, we were also looking at some of the model data, Leslie. We are concerned that there could be some additional thunderstorms that fire up overnight tonight into early tomorrow morning. The National Weather Service has been talking about that. I know many counties are not included in this tornado watch right now, but I will say it right now while we're on air. There is still that potential for tornado watch to be added later on this afternoon for areas farther south towards Washington County and maybe even in northeast Oklahoma as well. So just got to make sure we're staying weather aware throughout this event.
Yes, I'd have to agree with that. And, right now the current imminent threat is this tornado warning. But like you mentioned, Josh Rugger, we're definitely going to continue to keep an eye on what's possible over the overnight situation, because it looks like at first this was supposed to be the main event, but we can't sleep on any other potential setups that will be happening into the overnight hours. But yes, we have Mega Doppler up there, and we can give you a very close look of what that area is looking like at the current moment. You could see once again rotation has been weakening over these past few scans, and it looks like another scan just came in as well. So I mean, as you can see right there, just not doing much. There is some lightning associated with this, so of course you still want to be indoors when it comes to any potential lightning, just because it does provide some hazards to a couple of trees and people and cars, for example. So definitely wanting to take that into consideration. But of course, this tornado warning is still ongoing. So with that being said, you're still wanting to keep an eye on State Highways 16 and 21, especially just along this. This is pretty much just about to go over Swain as well. So for those anywhere in the Swain area, you definitely want to be in your safe place while this tornado warning is still ongoing.
Absolutely. Great information right there, Leslie. And yeah, as you were just mentioning, this is very broad rotation right now, very weak, not too impressed with it. Let's go to normalized rotation real quick here. Let's just see what's going on with NROT. Again, some weak rotation, as we mentioned, but it was a lot more significant earlier. Look how broad it is as well. It's not very tight at this time, doesn't have that tight couplet. So as you were talking about earlier, the National Weather Service was talking about dropping off this tornado warning. Could be allowed to expire early, but maybe not. Yesterday we saw how quickly those storms kind of fired up, right? So maybe as a precaution, they keep it until 3:30. But at this current time, there's nothing that's too imminent. Having said that, if you live in Swain, need to be in your tornado safe place right now. We just talked about duck downstairs under something. Most importantly, as well, as this storm lifts off to the north and east, you need to keep an eye on things if you live towards that Murray area as well.
Yes, exactly.
Yep.
And once again, we can go ahead and also pull up a storm track that I do have up here that I've been continuing to update little by little over on Max 1 right now. So if I adjust it a little bit for what has actually already gone on, just keeping in mind the storm is moving at 20 miles per hour, very slow moving at that. A similar story to what we saw last night as well. And this will be in effect up until 3:30. But we did see talks from National Weather Service Little Rock, which right now they're quiet, but they did say there's a good potential for this tornado warning to be canceled. But nonetheless, Edwards Junction, Nail, 3:18 p.m., 3:30, Alum Cove, Natural Bridge Recreation Area. Then farther down the line, beyond 3:30, you have Way In, Crossroads School, Red Rock. Definitely wanting to be in your safe place. Also keeping in mind, Northwest Arkansas Regional Medical Center over in Newton County is eventually down this path. Mind you, it's outside of the tornado warning, but if any of this rotation decides to ramp up at any given point, definitely wanting to keep this aware at the current time.
Yeah, and here's the deal, Leslie. I heard our producer Christina in her ear talking about iDrive Arkansas. I don't think we have any iDrive Arkansas cameras in this area, unfortunately.
No,
and we also don't have any WeatherBug Network.
The majority of the cameras for this area just pretty much falls just along Interstate 40, but anything beyond that, none whatsoever. And I do have Harrison Gaither Mountain pulled up, just looking a little bit towards the southeast-ish, just because there is a tower that is blocking the way of the storm, unfortunately. But even beyond that, it's hard to tell or hard to see anything from this camera right now. There's nothing too impressive on Gaither Mountain.
And that's why we're not showing you cameras at this time as well, because we just don't have a view or a visual of this storm, which is why we're having to rely on radar. It is tough. As we mentioned earlier, we've got that radar hole, so that can complicate things just a little bit. But again, right now, I don't see anything that's too impressive with the storm, at least when it comes to tornado potential. We're still not going to let our guard down on that front.
Also, letting you know right now, Josh, Little Rock, they did say the tornado warning is about to be canceled.
It's about to be canceled. Okay. Yeah. And there it is. It canceled just now. Before we wrap up this coverage, though, on TV, I want to show one more thing. Let's go back to Weather 1 here real quick. And this is what we call base reflectivity, which is radar, right, overlaid with instability. So that's those yellow shaded colors that you see right there. I know we're about to drop off TV coverage. We still have that tornado watch in effect until 7 p.m. So you got to make sure you're staying weather aware, folks, because we still have some fuel in place for these showers and storms to take off. And we do have some additional cells right now, Leslie, that are trying to develop in Sequoia and LaFleur County. We'll have to watch those very closely as those lift off to the north. They're going to get into a better environment. We do know that the wind shear is going to become more favorable potentially for tornado development as we go throughout the rest of the day. So just make sure you're staying weather aware, folks. Again, we got that tornado watch in effect until 7 p.m. for portions of our area. There could be some additional watches added a little bit later on today. But as of right now, we'll go ahead and wrap up our streaming coverage on TV. Again, you can join us on X, on Facebook, 479 First, for some of the latest details on the internet. But for now, folks, stay safe. Have a great rest of your Sunday, and keep it here with your Weather Authority team for the latest. Perfect.
There we go. Webcam.
Boom. We're here. Welcome, guys. Had that quick tornado warning. I see there's a lot of comments and stuff like that going on here. Obviously, there's some concern as well. Christina, what's going on?
What's up?
Got to show off Christina here. Christina
Hi.
making the magic happen behind the scenes. Yes.
How long do you use the stream for? I got to do the hour.
Let's go ahead and just keep it as is for right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then if we, have additional warnings and stuff like that, we'll get back on. But
The phone was from yes.
Sparker, I don't think I know.
Phone
That. I don't think I know who he is, but yeah, I drive Arkansas again.
I
It's
was
yeah.
looking for cameras, I couldn't find it. So I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know what to do.
yeah, it's in a tough spot. It's in a tough spot. Yeah.
No, you're doing great.
Thank you. Appreciate it,
Thank
Christina.
you.
Always say production makes the magic happen. Most important role
Of course.
at the TV station. But that was a quick tornado warning, Leslie. But
It was.
I think this shows us that the National Weather Service today is playing no games with these storms.
They're not, especially after what happened yesterday, undoubtedly.
Yes.
Just wanting to keep an eye on everything and making sure that everyone is safe for the ongoing moment. Keeping in mind there is a slight risk for Northwest Arkansas. I don't know how many of you guys are well aware of that,
Yeah.
but you can go ahead and pull that up real quick. And yeah, so basically we've been upgraded to a slight risk earlier today, mostly including Northwest Arkansas. And the River Valley has remained unchanged when it comes to the tornado threat as well as the wind threat. For the most part, well, the entire region actually remains unchanged. The only thing they upgraded was the tornado risk, and the tornado risk is up to just still very low for Northwest Arkansas, to say the least. And pretty much the main concern for this timing, as far as we know, is all the way up until I want to say 6 p.m. because the storms are ongoing. And I will say these storms have been firing off a little bit earlier than what models may have initially pinpointed out even throughout
Yeah.
yesterday. But again, there's also, like you mentioned very briefly, a possible overnight threat. But there you go. There is that 5% risk across Northwest Arkansas. Keeping in mind you have Benton, Carroll, also Boone and Newton that's under the tornado watch at the current moment. Also Barry and McDonald for our Missouri viewers.
Yeah, and here's the deal about this event as well. It's a complicated event, right? This is
Oh, yeah.
this is not going to be an easy setup to forecast whatsoever, because there's these little pockets of daytime heating that occurred, right, in
Yeah.
certain areas. Other areas didn't see as much daytime heating, so they're not receiving as much instability. So you got these little
Correct.
instability pockets that are going on, right?
Yes.
And where those storms set up, that's going to determine where the greatest tornado risk is.
Correct.
Here's the deal, though. The good news with this setup, as you mentioned earlier, Leslie, is that we've seen some scattered showers that developed in Northwest Arkansas. I can go back
Oh,
here
yeah.
to Mega Doppler real quick, and you can kind of scroll around through here. But we've got all these just little light rain showers.
Look at this. And this has been
Mhm.
passing both through the River Valley and for Northwest Arkansas. So I'm curious to see what these storms do, considering they had all these showers
Yeah.
moving on in. And we can probably get a good look at instability here in just a second to see what's still in place for the entirety of today. But yes, so pretty much we have those general showers, maybe some actually stronger storms just south of Scott County that actually just barely missed us for the most part. You can see it weekend out, but maybe southern portions of Scott County still saw some of those heavier storms. Look at all the lightning associated with that, by the way.
Yep.
Thankfully, that's not our situation right now. And then we are seeing showers just pretty much spreading all the way up into Washington County. Now, these showers have not touched Benton County at all.
Yeah. Not
Now
yet.
that we're looking at it, not yet. And now we have these storms firing off. And then look at these, also some cells back here that I'm curious to see if maybe they'll do anything. But for the most part, we're also just seeing a lot of these isolated cells. And these isolated cells, they have been a little bit concerning. They have been producing mid-level rotation, honestly, for like the last 2 hours, I want to say. We've been here since
Yeah.
about 12 p.m.
Like
just
12, yeah.
keeping an eye on the radar and basically babysitting it. But thus far, that was actually our first tornado warning of the day. Once again, it included portions of northeastern Johnson County and portions of southwestern Newton County for those that are curious and just are now joining us. But even with that tornado warning gone, we still have to keep in mind that this watch is in place all the way up until 7 p.m.
Yeah, and you're just talking about the watch. I've got that pulled up right now. You may notice that with this watch, it doesn't include a large part of our weather coverage area. And I know that can be confusing, right? So if you live in Southwest Missouri towards Barry and McDonald County, you've got that tornado watch in effect. And then that northern row of counties, Benton, Carroll, Boone, and Newton County. Those are the counties that are under this tornado watch at this time. It does not include Washington or Madison County yet. There could be additional watches that are issued. It really depends on how the environment kind of evolves over the next several hours. I have a feeling we probably will see another watch, Leslie. I think they're going to just be better safe than sorry on this front.
Correct.
But right now, the greatest tornado threat is in that yellow shaded area. So if you live towards the Fayetteville area, if you live in Madison County, if you live in the River Valley, I know the River Valley folks might be on edge right now because of all the tornadoes that occurred south of Interstate 40. You guys are good to go right now. I would still say weather aware, though, as we go throughout the late afternoon, early evening hours, and then potentially overnight tonight. As a matter of fact, let's take a look at the latest HRRR here because I want to.
Well, and hopefully you should be able to hear me right now. We are just reconnecting the microphones, so it just kind of dropped out right there. But I'm making sure that Josh's mic is up, and it looks like it is now connected. So we're going to be heading back so that I can give Josh his mic as well. But yes, we've just been talking about the tornado watch that is in place, and we were just also keeping an eye on what the model is showing for the next few hours because it's also something that we need to continue to keep an eye on. Here we go. The mic is reconnected, so everyone should be able to hear us.
All right. Yeah. Sorry, guys. We're having a few issues with this microphone. You know, they've been working just as hard as everybody here as well. So that's probably why it went out there. But we shouldn't have any more issues for the rest of the day.
Also wanting to say that Little Rock, they mentioned a few minutes ago, numerous storms are rotating with mid-level mesocyclones. Rotation with any particular storm is not real tight and does not last very long. So hopefully that is the case.
I mean, hopefully that trend continues.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, and here's the deal. So we're talking about the HRRR, right? And we were talking about the high resolution models. Okay. Before I continue, I need to acknowledge this comment. The headline says warning. Where is the warning? The warning has expired. So we had a tornado warning about 10 minutes ago. It was issued actually 25 minutes ago for portions of Johnson and Newton counties. That warning has expired. So we have no warnings that are in effect anymore. However, there could be additional thunderstorms that develop that prompt tornado potential later on this afternoon into the evening hours. So that's why you're seeing that in the text box and everything. So I just want to acknowledge that comment. There are no warnings that are currently in effect for Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley. We do have a tornado watch that's in effect for portions of our area until 7 p.m., but at this time, there are no tornado warnings. So just want to acknowledge that comment. It's a good question because I know you're probably seeing the text, right, that says tornado warning has been issued. That tornado warning has expired. So here's what we got going on for later on this afternoon. So the model not showing a whole lot of additional development, Leslie.
Yeah.
It is a model, right? So it's not going to be perfect, but I will say this. It has additional thunderstorms forming overnight tonight into early tomorrow morning. And that's around like 2 o'clock. And you may be thinking, all right, is there any instability that's left over? According to the models, there is at this time. Yes. So there could be some tornado potential with that overnight tonight into early tomorrow morning. I know originally we weren't really thinking that was a concern, but I think we'll have to watch that very closely, Leslie. And that's why I think they actually increased the tornado potential is because of these overnight storms right here. I've been thinking about it. I've been looking at the latest details. I've been looking at the HRRR. You've got this axis of instability that's setting up right there along the Bobby Hopper Tunnel in areas farther north. When that happens, and it happened yesterday, right? That little nose of instability, those storms love to ride that nose of instability and start spinning up. So we're going to have to watch that overnight time frame, unfortunately,
I would have to agree.
for some areas of rotation. It's not a high-end threat. I'm going to stress that. And that's something we've been stressing over the last couple of days. It's not a high-end threat. These tornadoes would likely be on the brief side, but that also means they can be a little more dangerous because they could sneak up on you. So just want to make sure people have the heads up on that front. And you can see those storms continuing through about 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, maybe even beyond that as well.
We still have a long way to go before that time frame even comes around. That's still not for like another 11 hours.
I know. Yeah. And
so,
and one thing I am noticing too, you know, we're
Yeah.
just talking about the lack of storms that we're seeing right now.
yeah.
Well, what impact is that going to play on the overnight system? Because, you know, your low level jet starts to kick
You're losing
in.
more energy.
You get a little bit
Yeah.
more oomph, a little bit more energy, a little bit more instability that's hanging around. And
And
we're
that's
just,
my one concern for today too, was just sheer was not too impressive looking for the most part, and especially along some of the photographs. So the
Mhm.
fact that we'll have the low level jet kicking in later tonight and then playing a part, then of course your sheer will be ramping up by then.
yeah. So why was the watch issued? It goes until 7 p.m. Well, it's issued for these storms that are currently ongoing over northwest Arkansas and southwest Missouri. It's these supercells that are trying to, you know, bubble up right in the
Correct.
atmosphere right now, and those storms are the most concerning at this time. I would say if you live like in Washington County or areas in the River Valley right now, I wouldn't be too concerned about anything at
Yep.
this time. You should go about your business.
And hear me now. Just reconnected the mic. I don't know why we're having issues with it. Yesterday, that was not the case whatsoever. But hopefully, this does not continue to be a trend in honestly the coming hours, because we do need these mics for sure, especially if we have to continue this live stream for you guys. Just give me 1 second while I make my way back to the main room and give Josh his microphone all over again. But yes, I finally have mine on. We'll see if we can try to troubleshoot this issue in the meantime. Not necessarily hoping this happens again. Here you go, Josh. Could you imagine?
I don't want to.
Yeah.
You got to love technology. Exactly. Absolute trash. I agree with this comment right here. Just trash. Yeah, River Valley should go about your business. What a cliffhanger for the rest of us. I know. We were just talking about that. So again, we'll get back to what we were talking about. Northwest Arkansas, we had one tornado warning that occurred about 15 to 20 minutes ago in northern Johnson and Newton counties. That lasted a very brief period of time, did not produce a tornado as far as we saw. There's no storms right now that are too concerning, I would say. We're still going to keep an eye on them, but Leslie, I just don't really see anything right now that's looking too concerning. I'm actually going to go back here to Mega Doppler. We can pull that up. So there's a look at storm relative velocity, which is just measuring the areas of rotation. There's one storm right now in Newton County that has some broad rotation. It's that same storm that prompted the tornado warning, but it's still very broad. We go to normalized rotation. You can see that rotation is very weak right now. So that's moving off to the north and east towards State Highway 7. So that's the most concerning storm at this time. It's this one that's south and west of Jasper. But I was actually talking about this. We're just going to have to end this live
No,
stream.
it's still going.
Oh,
it's still
it's
going. It's
going.
just not showing up here
Okay.
for some reason.
Yeah,
I was just checking and
gonna
making
say-
sure. I was just checking and making sure.
I was about to lose my mind there.
I'm like going to be double checking the mic levels. all this
That
time
is
now.
that is hilarious. That is hilarious. I was about to have a heart attack there
I'm like,
for a
why
minute.
can't I see it?
Oh, you gotta love technology. It's so funny. But
Starting
again,
to see peaks of sun where we are in Bella Vista. It's already so humid.
yep. So again, Leslie, you can come in here.
Yep.
So I would say right now, no current tornado warnings.
Yep.
I think we're probably gonna wrap up this live stream.
Okay, yeah, and that way
yes.
that'll give us time to charge our microphones too, because it
Yeah.
looks like we gotta get this issue.
We got to figure out what's
sorted
going
out
on here.
before we continue on
Yes,
here.
I'm just glad there's no tornado warnings in effect right now. Again, there's no tornado warnings in effect, which is why we're talking about this and about to wrap up the live stream. We're going
Yes.
to get the technology stuff figured out behind the scenes. But again, there was a tornado warning earlier in Newton County.
Yep.
No confirmed tornado. There are a few cells that we're still watching very closely. If those prompt tornado potential, we'll be back on here ready to rock and roll again. But
Of course.
really quick, if you just now tune in and stuff like that, I want to show this one more time here, Leslie, before we wrap this up. We're going to show our severe weather risk for our area. So that's going to take a little while to populate here. Josh, the Nationals game did happen, but we had a rain delay. Okay, well, I'm glad they still got the game in. You know, I was a little worried they weren't going to get the game in because I thought there'd be more rain today.
Yeah.
But I'm glad they still got the game in. So that's great news, right? Raining in Bella Vista. There is some showers hanging around right now. So you might receive rain, such as in Bella Vista. There's also some additional showers that are moving into western Benton and western Washington County, but those are not severe. We'll talk about that in just a few moments. But before we wrap this up, I also wanted to show the latest severe risk if people were just tuning in. So slight risk for severe weather in far northwestern Arkansas and southwest Missouri, basically for areas along and north of the Bobby Hopper Tunnel.
Correct.
The tornado potential has increased slightly in those areas as well. So I'm going to pull up the tornado risk. You can see it's on the lower side still, but a little bit more enhanced there in northwest Arkansas. The River Valley also has a low end chance for tornadoes south of the I-40 corridor. Damaging winds, also a concern with any of these thunderstorms. You can see that general area there. Hail, not going to be a big threat with this particular storm system. But real quick, Alicia, you got this pulled up too. We'll do a quick little radar tour on Live Doppler radar. Again, there is some instability that's hanging around. There are some storms that are bubbling up in southwestern Benton County, western Washington County right now. It might get a little bit loud in just a few moments in those locations. But otherwise, these storms are well below severe limits at this time.
They are right now, and I haven't seen any rotation right now. It's just more in a linear mode at the current moment. So hopefully it kind of stays like that. And again, some of these cells out towards the east, which it looks like besides the Jasper one, a lot of it is already leaving the region.
Yeah.
Mid-level rotation has been the concern for some of them, but like National Weather Service said, they've been very short-lived and they just kind of deteriorate very quickly. And so hopefully that continues to be the trend for the rest of this afternoon for now.
Yeah, and I was going to say with that Jasper storm, you can zoom in on that real quick there, Leslie. The reason why I'm not concerned about that, even though it still shows sign of rotation, I talked about this when we were on TV coverage, and you've seen this out in the field too.
Yes.
When those storms are really compact and tiny like that, normally they don't prompt tornado potential. And the reason why they're so compact and tiny is because they don't have enough wind shear. So basically they're getting ripped apart right now.
Yeah,
and that storm is
you
just
can pull up
struggling.
Dripping Springs if you want. Honestly, these storms out towards the border does not look too crazy impressive if you ask me.
Yeah.
Even just looking at it from here. So I mean, look at Dripping Springs. You can see the rain just off in the distance there, and we can do like a quick little go about, and you could see honestly there's just nothing really too impressive looking on here. And then of course we have a beautiful tower just blocking some of our views here. Just honestly nothing too impressive at the current moment. So, you know, I hope to stay optimistic, and hopefully this is the case for the entirety of today. But of course, as we continue to rest here and give our mics a break and hop off this live stream, we'll continue to monitor the latest, of course, and see what's what's going to possibly happen during the overnight hours.
Yeah, absolutely. Might be a long night.
It's
already been a long day.
I mean,
we don't have a KNWA show at 5. So Leslie, you came in. We both came in around 12 o'clock.
Correct.
And we're just here to keep an eye on the radar, basically, and watch what's going on. But a lot of times when you babysit the radar, it can be pretty exhausting. So we're gonna take this opportunity to rest for a minute. If we do have storms that prompt additional tornado potential, we'll be right back on here, ready to rock and roll. We're prepared. We're ready to go. Really appreciate you guys tuning in. Again, no storms within the next 30 to 45 minutes that will prompt anything concerning. But just stay weather aware and keep it here with the team for all the latest details. Have a great rest of your Sunday, folks. If we don't talk again, and I hope we don't, And God bless y'all. We'll talk soon.